What I needed was not a new weapon, but a new animal.
A new animal?
Exactly so.
You found one?
Yes. Here on my island, I hunt the most dangerous game.
Most dangerous game?
Most dangerous game? What could it be?
The game I am hunting is all of you.
We are going to hunt you cricket.
What happens if I get caught?
Ooh, don't get caught. Don't get caught. Well, there he goes.
Hunt men? You raving maniac.
Well, conventional wisdom says good fleeing will always be good chasing. But the stats say put your money on the guy with the gun.
And the hunt begins.
Indeed. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Most Dangerous Podcast. I'm Travis Fishburne.
I'm Alex Brunel.
And I'm Dustin Meadows.
And joining us this week is a special guest, Adam Collins. Adam, thank you for joining us on this special episode.
I am back here to discuss the season finale of Andor in great detail.
Yes, exactly.
Let's go. I finally caught up, but no. That was fun talking about that show, though, guys.
Yeah,
it was a great program.
That was a great show. My brother just finished watching it recently and has been raving about it via text. But we have a limited amount of time in which we can talk about The Running Man, so let's do that.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, Adam. Oh my God, I would love a 3-hour cut of this movie so deeply. No, actually, I wouldn't, because the editing is one of my favorite things about this movie. I love the way this movie's cut and paste. It's chef's kiss. This movie is not strictly an adaptation of The Most Dangerous Game. It shares a lot of the same traits, being centering on a human being who is being hunted with the reward of life, basically, or they're killed during the hunt. But this is actually adapted from a short story written by Richard Bachman, right? Is that how it's pronounced? Which is Stephen King writing mean stories. I think is kind of right. They're the ones that
Before
he
he
thought
outed
were
himself.
right.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that he thought went too far for his own name for whatever reason, right? Or am I remembering that incorrectly?
More or less, he wanted to differentiate it from his stuff. Go a little more graphic.
Gotcha. So, in dystopian America, a falsely convicted policeman gets his shot at freedom when he must forcibly participate in a TV game show where convicts, runners, must battle killers, stalkers, for their freedom. And we get the sense in the movie that this is a daily television show.
Yeah,
it feels that way, yeah.
That is 3 hours long. This is a huge daily production. This has to be like what are they're talking about the ratings the whole movie. Literally, what else is on TV? Like, what is the production budget for or audience attention span if there's this fervor over The Running Man every weeknight? Presumably,
it
every
seems like
number one
that's
show in the world.
Right.
Worldwide.
It's also
Kill it.
for...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you, Dustin.
I was gonna say it's also like it's aired nightly for the purpose of kind of pacifying everybody and keeping them complacent too, which is not super dissimilar from like the 2 minutes hate from like 1984, that kind of thing.
True.
And especially like around this came a little bit after, but like through the 90s, like it wasn't uncommon for like WWF Raw to run for upwards of 2.5 to 3 hours, but that was also only a weekly show.
Right, that's a weekly production, and that was a big Boffo production on a weekly basis, which is in itself extremely notable to put on a big Boffo 3-hour theater play full of violence on a weekly basis. But the conceiving of a show like this on a daily basis on planet Earth is really wild.
It probably helps that they've got a contract with the Department of Justice too.
Right.
I'm sure having a military budget behind your show does wonders.
A lot of this movie seems this is one of these movies that it seems less and less far-fetched each successive year that goes by since it's been made. Sorry, Adam, you were going to say.
The movie feels very much like it has seen a lot of the trendy post-apocalyptic, hunt type movies, and is almost find it blasé, and yet it came before all of them.
Right.
Like yes, it has similarities to The Most Dangerous Game, but the whole dystopian angle, it's insanely broad and efficient. But like, I think the only other thing airing, according to Killian, was Gilligan's Island reruns.
Yep.
Oh, right. Those were the two.
Pretty much.
I really like those digs in the show because the movie takes place in 2019. Here we are in 2023. So like culturally, we're not that far off from where the time when this movie is theoretically taking place. And if you had a conversation with a millennial in 2019 and brought up Gen Z,
2017.
The opening events happen in 2017. Then 18 months go by, and then the running part takes place in 2019. So if you had talked to someone from Gen Z in 2019 about Gilligan's Island, you probably would have gotten the same response. And had J.J. Abrams' Star Trek never happened, probably the same response about Spock too, like happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Plus, we get the rare Schwarzenegger beard to show a passage of time, which is always effective.
That was a good one. I did like that light sandy brown beard.
He should go bearded more often. Looks good on him.
So
absolutely.
So this movie was directed by Paul Michael Glaser, TV and feature director whose other features include The Air, Up There, and Kazam. But yes, exactly. Mostly he's Starsky.
The Cutting Edge has its fans, to be fair.
True.
Yeah.
Is that the ice skating?
That's probably his other strongest film after The Running Man.
Yeah. I think so too.
Stephen E. D'Souza was the writer here. Kind of early on in his career, he
wrote our national anthem. Sorry, I love making that stupid joke. Let's move on.
Let's
move on.
V, the miniseries V, directed by Kenneth Johnson, which is a great bit of 80s pulpy sci-fi. First two Die Hards, Hudson Hawk, The Flintstones, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Street Fighter, Judge Dredd, Knockoff, which is the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie about fake purses, and other stuff. Thomas Del Ruth was the cinematographer. I love how this movie looks. It has a great gaudy 80s sensibility to it that really places it in the time that it's made in a way that is very distinct for this movie, I think. Like that you remember what this movie looks and feels like. So this guy, he shot his other works as a director of photography, Thomas Del Ruth, include Motel Hell, The Breakfast Club, Stand By Me, Look Who's Talking 1 and 2, The Mighty Ducks, and a bunch more stuff. That's great pedigree.
Such a crazy diverse
it
resume.
Is. We have Harold Faltermeyer composing the score, whose work
I have so many thoughts.
Everyone knows, everyone should love. I love the score in this movie deeply. Also known for his work on Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, and Fletch. Was also the best part of Kevin Smith's movie Cop Out when he came out of retirement to do a score. And notable pop music composer, all around super music guy.
Did not phone this movie in.
Absolutely not. We have like the full on 1987 versions, like synth versions of many classical pieces of music in these scenes. Like we'll get to it, but the battle scenes with all of the stalkers are fantastic, but maybe none better than Dynamo.
Dynamo's great.
Dynamo is maybe one of the greatest things ever committed to film. I don't know. It's like somebody watched Brazil and then was like, I'm gonna make the cheap Chinese knockoff toy version of this, and then suited a guy up like that and put him next to Arnold Schwarzenegger and just let him rip, man. It's so
there
great.
There will come a day when there's a Dynamo hot toy. And people will spend $500 on it.
If I had, if I made like $400K a year, I'd be one of those people.
And it has to light up.
If it didn't light up, it would be a waste of money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're just leaving money on the table there.
I'm in the social class that just salivates at the the Google image search of hot toys.
Yeah.
I like just looking at them. That's enough. Just looking at greatness. I can't fathom actually collecting those things. I really can't.
Oh man. So I was talking a little bit. I love the editing in this movie so much. This movie just clips. It just goes. It alternates between the A and B plot, but you never spend more than 2 minutes on one side of anything. So like it has this unbelievably like forward pace to it. And there's 3 editors on the movie. Mark Warner and Edward Warshilika sometimes work as editing partners and share some credits, but Warner's credits include Rocky 3, Weird Science, and Driving Miss Daisy. The 2 of them did Big Trouble in Little China, and then Warshilika also did Child's Play 3, John Carpenter's Body Bags, In the Mouth of Madness, Village of the Damned, Escape from L.A., and also 13 Ghosts. John Wright was the 3rd editor, and he was an older guy than the other 2. He had about 5 or 7 years of work on them, but also cut Gleaming the Cube, Hunt for Red October, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, Last Action Hero, Speed, The Thomas Crown Affair, Rollerball, Apocalypto, and The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton. Great resume on this guy. I just like shout out. I don't know how this editing situation worked. I don't know like who recut who, what's going on here. Were they given reels to do? I don't care. I love how this movie's cut. Last crew member I want to call out is Paula Abdul, choreographer. Come on, shake your body, baby.
She had to have had some kind of a contractual thing where it's like you have to show this many minutes of dancing.
There's so much
sequence
dancing.
goes on so long.
It's so great. There's like 4
This movie
dance
lends itself to a
sequences.
Broadway adaptation so naturally.
Oh my
Between
God.
Dynamo and the dancers and everything.
Oh,
It's
man.
right there.
Oh man. What person I'm gonna pitch this right now. Channing Tatum in the Broadway stage adaptation of The Running Man.
I'm not gonna fight that. I'm wondering who's gonna play Dynamo and who's gonna play Killian. Those are 2 very important roles.
Oh man, yeah.
Maybe we can think on it and maybe wrap it up get back to that at the end.
If viewers have any suggestions, we welcome them.
Can
Yes.
David Harbour sing opera? Because if David Harbour can sing, there's your Dynamo.
I'm into that. So
I can see him in the armor, the light bright armor.
Oh yeah,
so big. Yeah,
and he's
let's do
already a
that.
big dude.
I could also see him as a Captain Freedom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where do we start, guys? Because I have a lot to say about this, and I know we all got to take some turns because we could go all night.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to get into it. Let's talk about the cast really quick first. Travis, do you want to lead us through the cast? You want me to lead us through the cast?
I don't even know how to quickly go through this.
Okay.
Cast.
Okay, so we have
just Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's all.
Never
we have
heard
to
of
say.
him.
Yeah. All right. Okay. The Terminator and last
Playing the aptly named Ben Richards.
You may remember him from the film Junior.
Junior.
Where
Yeah.
he's
You mean
Yeah,
the
Danny
same Arnold?
DeVito knocked him up, and that's that's it.
Are we talking about the same Arnold Schwarzenegger as Around the World in 80 Days? That Arnold
That's the
Schwarzenegger?
one. Yeah.
Yep, that's the same guy.
Yeah, okay.
The same guy.
Such a common name.
And then
That's the one where he has Kenny G hair.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
And then
Yeah, and then we got Maria Conchito Alonso.
Moscow on the Hudson.
Yeah. Moscow on the Hudson, Predator 2.
Yeah.
Quite a big filmography here from her.
She's always the romantic lead that's also, the audience avatar, in a way.
Oh, totally.
That's kind of her thing. Yeah.
That's a good observation.
But she's good at it.
Yeah. No, I like her in this movie, man. I mean, she's very, she's an object of plot, as is basically everyone in this movie. There aren't really characters in this movie.
But she makes it so fun.
But she does make it fun.
She is one of the better female co-leads in a Schwarzenegger movie that isn't Linda Hamilton.
Exactly. I mean, she's very memorable. Like
Yes.
you don't like this role could have easily been like very throwaway, like
Oh, yeah.
belong to anybody, but it's very distinct. And I
This
like
could have
that.
been them doing her dirty like they did Radon Chong in Commando.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what if we just gave this woman nothing to do but scream and react for the whole movie and no character development?
At least she explained the complicated plot of Commando to the audience as it went along. What do you mean you're a mercenary and you have to find your daughter? What the hell? It's like,
I would have missed that if she hadn't said it. So that's fair.
I know,
Good for her.
I know.
It is a
There's
very
layers to
layered
Commando.
movie.
also, like, I'm sure people have done this a million times over, but like, if we could like go and find all the "I'll be backs" that Arnold was forced to say post Terminator, where they have like no business being in the movie. Okay,
I have this
did
data.
I get ahead of you?
because he said that, and Sarah was like, "This came out after Terminator, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, where the hell did that come from? I know it's something. It's something that he's got to do. Like, and I thought this was the first time that it happened after Terminator. It's the third.
I'll be back, Bennett and Commando.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Commando's the first, then Raw Deal, Running Man, Twins, Total Recall, Last Action Hero, 6 Day, Expendables 2. That's
By the way,
all the
Raw Deal
non-Terminator ones.
is not a great film by any stretch, but it's pretty fascinating to watch. And it's like, imagine Schwarzenegger wandering into some like half-assed version of a Tennessee Williams play, and like he has like these scenes with his wife where they're throwing things at each other, and then there's a mob plot on top of it, and it's really something.
That's You Shouldn't Drink and Bake. Yes, that's Raw Deal.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the one.
Don't drink and bake.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a
I
classic
haven't
line that
watched
was never
Raw
part of a
Deal.
soundboard that was around when I was in high school. I have to watch.
I haven't
this
watched
movie.
Raw Deal in a long time, but I very specifically remember that scene.
Dustin, I found it on a combo DVD pack. It was Raw Deal and Maximum Overdrive together for some unknown reason. I'm like, fine.
Ooh.
I don't know why you would pair
What a
those,
combo.
but I would not like. That's the best case scenario I could think of to own both those movies.
One of the most random combos I've seen.
So
Amazing.
you get Don't Drink and Bake, and honey, I think this machine just called me an asshole. I just watched that the other night. Oh boy.
Maximum
Okay.
Overdrive's a classic. And well, Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah, is
In
that
the air.
connection?
Yeah. Full circle. There we go. We brought it back.
Who else you want to talk about in the cast, Trev?
The other person gets me really excited is Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah.
I mean,
He never misses. Freddy's
No.
dead. He's even good in that.
Yep.
I mean, so many awesome movies. Alien. He's Kananga and Mr. Big in Live and Let Die, in which his death scene is quite spectacular.
Yes.
Midnight Run. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Awesome performance in this movie as one of the supporting runners.
Yep.
We also have
And shout out to the stunt double of Yaphet Kotto who had to like wear a wig that matched because
Oh.
Yaphet Kotto's hair is a little
His hair
little messy in this.
so
It's-
weird in this movie.
And then the stunt double's hair is like more extreme.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
And then we got Jim Brown as Fireball, former
Yes.
NFL player, who's also been in so many things from the
Major
Dirty Dozen.
jetpack action in this, by the way.
Yeah.
The Jim
Oh my
Brown.
God.
That was awesome.
Unexpected. I love to show up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I always forget until this movie that Jim Brown had hair at one point because I'm just so used to the more contemporary bald Jim Brown that we usually see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that when Fireball debuts in the movie, he's just flying around on his jetpack, incinerating cardboard cutouts to announce his presence.
Yep.
Very brave. Yeah.
very. I can't remember. Go on.
It's like people at the gun range taking out, targets. Like, yeah. I got the paper. I got the paper.
No, it's just like, look, I shoot fire. Okay, anyway, Jim Brown is great in this movie and has hair. It's great.
His hair, has a jetpack, has fire. And we got Jesse, the body Ventura. I'm legally obligated to say the body.
Also with hair.
Yeah.
Also with hair. Still with the mustache. And
would you guys buy if they did a box set of Captain Freedom's aerobics? Like, I'm there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fully.
Yeah.
My fiance is actually she's a personal trainer, and we were watching this together, and she was like, maybe these are the kind of promos I should cut for my business.
Yeah. 100%, man.
Come on, bozos.
Yeah.
It's got the best voice in the world.
Those were so great.
That, like, you know, he's worked with Arnold, like, not only just also for Predator in the same year, but like he was in Batman and Robin as an Arkham Asylum.
Oh
guard.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember he's like, you can't live outside the cold zone, Freeze. That's him, because you hear his voice out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. He reminds them that his name is the chilling sound of their doom and all that. Is Ventura in Returns as well, or am I making that up?
I don't think Arkham is in Returns.
No.
I don't think he's in Returns. There's a few big wrestler dudes.
I think you have Bam Bam Bigelow, who is in Returns. That's where the confusion's coming from.
Renowned saxophonist Bam Bam Bigelow, just so everyone knows.
I've renounced my saxophoning.
Yes.
And then
we've got Erland van Lith, who played the spectacular Dynamo.
Beautiful. An actual opera singer.
Oh, he's
by the way, guys.
Man.
Actual opera singer.
I love that they found a moment for him.
Yeah.
In there.
And sadly, it looks like he died just before this movie came out.
He died 3 months after this movie came out.
Oh wow.
I remember him from Stir Crazy because that face. Like that's the only other movie I remember him from.
He's in The Wanderers too. He's pretty, you see his face in The Wanderers. He has. I mean, those are 3 of the 4 things he's ever been in.
Yes.
So,
hey, Christmas tree. I love that.
Calls him Christmas tree. Calls him light bulb as well.
Yep.
I love that. Light bulb's not even original at that point.
Right.
No. Hey, electricity guy.
I think at that point when he showed up and started doing his thing, Sarah was like, well, how's he even doing that? Like, how is he controlling this?
Yeah, he just was doing it. It'd be just electric suit made of plastic and metal.
He's got the
with his fiberglass car.
Oh my god.
It's a Mario Kart kind of car.
Yeah, I like that him in his car, like it looks like those McDonald's Happy Meal toys you used to get.
Yeah,
of, like,
the car is so great.
Whatever cartoon tie-in had the soapbox or a kart racer.
Yeah. That Hot Toys has to come with the car.
Yeah.
Oh, it must. Oh my god.
So like I just have to say with this movie, I feel like it's this like weird focal point. Like if like we didn't know that the movie's been in existence for a long time. If we found out that it was like this AI amalgam of 80s culture, I would believe it, because you have Stephen King, Schwarzenegger, dystopia, game shows, the obsession with television, Reaganomics, all these things just like eating their own tail, and it's so efficient. It's 100 minutes nonstop, and it doesn't give a shit if you think it's good or not. And it's just, it's a pretty amazing movie. Like the more I think about it, I've seen it like probably 7 times now in my life, and it's just, it clicks more and more every time. I'm just like, damn, Running Man. I step aside. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, dude. I saw it for the first time in like the quarantine times of 2020, and I could not believe that I had somehow gone my entire life without seeing this movie, because it was
how's not everyone talking about it?
Right, it was such an Alex Brunel movie. It's just like everything about it seemed like designed to please me, and I had the exact same reaction the second time I watched it, which made me really, really happy. If anybody wants to know what another one of those movies is, I'll tell you, it's The Hidden from 1987, starring Kyle MacLachlan. And if you don't know anything about it, Do not read anything about it. Just watch the movie. It's better that way.
I still need to see that
1987 was a
one.
good year for
1987,
Alex,
man.
cinema.
Oh,
Holy
and
crap.
of course gave us one of the best movies of all time in RoboCop.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, 87 was the year at the movies. But
Hell
anyway,
of a year.
there's still more people in there's believe it
Oh
or
my
not,
God.
there's
I mean,
yet more people
it's
in the cast
just the
we
tip
got to
of the
talk about.
iceberg.
More yeah, keep going.
There's
Whoever you want to single out.
Professor Toro Tanaka, who
Oh, yeah.
played Sub-Zero, but they say Professor Sub-Zero when they
They do.
introduce him.
They
Yeah.
do say
Yeah.
Professor
Which is-
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, which is a nice callback to his moniker.
Yeah.
I now, without digging into the Wikipedia, I don't know like the extent to his title of professor. I don't know if he taught at
No,
college at one point.
I looked that up.
Was it a
and
professional
just seems to
wrestler
be-
thing?
Yeah, just a professional wrestler thing.
So he's the butler / bodyguard in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yep.
When Pee-wee leaves the fake knocker at the door, and I love him so much in that he's having his bath.
I always think of him from another Schwarzenegger vehicle, Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Because he's Benedict's
yeah.
bodyguard. When he shows up, we're going around the house arresting drug dealers. Are there any in the house?
He's also in
So
Three
good.
Ninjas, guys. He's also
yeah.
he's also a
Yeah.
hench in Three Ninjas.
Yeah, and then Victor is
Wong.
it Victor Wong
Mhm.
plays
Yeah.
the grandpa in Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
Because like those are both big Japanese guys, and like I like I'll admit when I was younger I used to get them confused because they're big Japanese guys with like facial hair,
Mhm.
and then when I got older I'm like, no, Professor Tanaka's way bigger than Victor. Victor
Yes.
Yeah. Side note about Three Ninjas. One of the guys that that played one of the surfer hench bros, DJ Harder, played this guy Hammer. DJ's a good friend of mine. He's a camera operator. We work together quite frequently.
Whoa. Okay, so the kid. Are you talking about the kidnappers from Three Ninjas?
The surf bros, yeah, that keep the kids hostage in the house, that like poop themselves,
Yeah.
that they get home alone.
They're like this weird mashup of like Bill and Ted and Airheads, like all these
Yeah.
things happening at the same time.
Yeah, DJ's
And-
the ponytail dude.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, all right, we'll take that offline. I'm fascinated. Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to watch Three Ninjas again, which I've been wanting to do anyway.
Three Ninjas has
It's a good
a
watch.
lot going on. It's a weird movie in the most fascinating way. It's like 90s slime and vomit and neon all together. Yeah.
And it's directed by John Turtletop.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So
The
yeah.
captain of subtlety. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
While you were sleeping, is John Turtletop.
He's directed so many random things.
Yes. All right. And then we got Mick Fleetwood playing.
Oh,
yeah.
Mick.
I never realized that until this time. Like
Same.
I saw Mick
I didn't
Fleetwood come
catch
up
that
and I was
last
like,
time.
wait, like there can't be that many Mick Fleetwoods, right? And then I
Yeah.
looked up, I was like, yep, nope, this is
Yep.
Fleetwood Max, Mick Fleetwood,
Max, Mick Fleetwood.
who's actually pretty solid in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not bad. The old makeup they got on him is kind of jank, but he's pretty good.
He does
Yeah.
a great job, and I don't understand why he didn't do more acting.
I feel like that role was the inspiration for Dolph Lundgren and Johnny Mnemonic. Like, if you
You know,
if
yeah,
you see
they
that
do have
movie,
a
Dolph
very
Lundgren's this
similar
weird.
aesthetic.
And then like, oh god, I'm forgetting which Ving Rhames appears in a similar role in a post-apocalyptic movie.
I'm not going to remember it. We should move on from that.
All right, let's move on. But like, I'm just saying, Dolph Lundgren is like this weird cult leader in Johnny Mnemonic, which
Yeah.
is way against type, but it's very similar to Fleetwood in this. And can you imagine if Lindsey Buckingham had played Killian? Just putting that out there.
Oh my god. What a thing that would have been.
I do want to just shout out one of Mick Fleetwood's very few film roles is in '97. He was in a movie called Snide and Prejudice. So here's the synopsis of the movie. Dr. Cohen works in a mental institution where all patients believe they're historical members of the German Nazi Party, including Hitler. and they're allowed to live out their delusions.
Was this before or after Bubba Hotep?
This would be before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bubba Hotep sounds like, I mean, I have seen Bubba Hotep, and that's a fun movie. This sounds like a less fun version of Bubba Hotep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were just all
Sounds
assaulted
very
by the
stressful.
sound of a small anvil. I don't know if anybody.
I don't know where
else
that.
heard that.
I don't know if that was me.
was
It
shocking.
sounded like
know.
somebody smacked like a sock full of quarters against the wall.
Shocking.
As the only person who didn't hear that noise, I'll take the blame. I don't know what happened.
Are you kicking your spurs over there, Adam? What's going on?
Something.
So Mick
yeah.
Fleetwood isn't the only musical luminary in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We also get Dweezil Zappa.
Yeah.
Small role, but yeah, Dweezil's in this movie. That's
Yeah.
great.
Nice appearance.
Love Dweezil.
He's great. One of his only lines, don't change that dial, don't turn that dial.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
He nails it. He does a great job.
And then the other big fish we haven't gotten to, Travis,
is old Richard Dawson himself.
Yeah.
In his last film role.
Yep.
And by some accounts I've read online, the people that have worked on Family Feud say this is not unlike what he was like in real life.
I could see that.
That's yeah.
And and what I was thinking when I'm watching this, and we're talking about the daily production cycle, which seems overwhelming. I agree. But when you think of it as an extrapolation of like The Price is Right, which runs daily,
sure,
it makes sense. Like I do yearn to see some of the other programming. Has anyone here seen Stay Tuned?
Yes.
With John Ritter.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have not.
So
wait,
a lot of
I'm working on it. I'm bookmarking it. Just talk about it.
Sorry,
it's going to be in your wheelhouse. But like there's a lot of thematic overlap here, a lot of satirical overlap, which I appreciate. And I honestly would have liked to see some of the in my head canon, it's really easy to start like visualizing some of the crazy shows that exist on the air concurrent with the Running Man. And I know it's not just Gilligan's Island reruns. I know there's got to be something else out there. It's just the writer's room didn't get that far. And so we have to fill in the gaps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Stay Tuned it's almost something that could go on this podcast. And I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
Stay Tuned's a blast.
I'm going to move that way on my priority list, but I just put it on my watch list. So I'll get there.
I mean, Stay Tuned, I'd argue, is kind of there. He's stealing souls essentially, and they have to survive. I think an argument can be made that it very loosely fits our parameters.
Is it on our list?
Yeah.
Also, Alex, I am very shocked. That is an Alex Brunel-ass movie.
Yeah, as soon as I watched it, I told Alex, I'm like, you gotta watch this.
I'm so happy when I learn that these are still out there and I haven't seen them. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best part of being a movie fan when you find these gems. Like I adore John Ritter. I really, really do. Because when I was young, I saw Problem Child and the original It miniseries around the same time. So he imprinted on me. And so every time I see John Ritter, especially if I haven't seen him in the movie before, I get really excited. So I saw Stay Tuned for the first time like 3 years ago. And I've seen it like twice now. And it's great. It's great.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And everyone else in that's like
Noted.
Jeffrey Jones is a fantastic villain, and Eugene Levy is so funny. Yeah,
it's hyperbolic in the best way. It really leans into its premise.
It's gonna be great. Who else is in The Running Man?
All right.
Oh God, so many people.
There's only like 3 more people I think we got to mention before we start actually finally talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alex, you go ahead and mention the 3 other people, and then we'll do contractions.
Okay.
And
Contractions. Sven-Ole Thorsen is in this movie.
Yeah, there he is.
Who people may remember from Hard Target. He's in Hard Target too, so it's not the first time he's appeared on this podcast.
I was trying to think what he was in.
He's in The Sum of All Fears. Is he in a Die Hard? I can't remember. I don't
believe he's in a Die Hard.
Okay.
He's in Red Heat, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He's in Eraser.
He fights Arnold in the beginning.
In the snow.
Yes.
It's like a cold open in a bathhouse, and they fight each other like almost naked.
There you go.
In loincloths. It's
he's
hilarious.
He's actually also in Predator and Raw Deal and Twins.
Eraser, Collateral.
God damn.
And Red
All these
Sonja
people
and
work with
both of the
Arnold a lot.
Conan movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was in both. I knew he
Anyway,
was in the first Conan.
Most importantly, he is LaFours in Mallrats, and that is
Yes.
where he lives in my brain.
Yeah.
We also then have Kurt Fuller in his theatrical feature debut, who you may remember as the mayor's assistant in Ghostbusters 2, or somebody else give me, like, what do you remember Kurt Fuller from?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
He's also in
he plays Russell.
He's in Miracle Mile, which is a great fucking movie, and he's fucking great in it. Sorry for
I
swearing.
believe he
It's
was
just
in
that
the
good.
short-lived "That's My Bush," if I remember correctly.
He was Carl Rove, and That's My Bush, and he was so great. Kurt Fuller is fantastic character actor. It was wonderful to see him pop up in this.
Yeah, I didn't know this was his debut. That's awesome.
As well as Lynn Shay pops up in the control room of the
for like a second.
She's in like 2 or 3 shots in the whole movie, and like maybe has half a line of dialogue or something.
Yep.
But Lynn Shay is in there, and what was something I didn't catch the first time that blew my mind this time is that Lynn Marie Stewart, Miss Yvonne herself, is an audience member in this show. She is the first woman to pick the stalker. And she is the woman that wins the copy of the Running Man home game, Miss Yvonne from Pee-wee's
she got like
Playhouse.
an armload full of prizes.
Yeah, that is Miss Yvonne from Pee-wee's Playhouse, just really happy about trying to kill this guy.
Who plays Edith Wiggins? That name stuck with me.
Edith Wiggins. Yeah, that was her. That's Edith. That's Edith. That's
Okay.
Lynn Marie Stewart.
Okay,
That's
cool.
Miss Yvonne. That's Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's a big player in my childhood.
Yeah.
I want the Running Man home game.
Oh, badly.
Every time
I want to
somebody
know
got it.
what the game
what is
pieces
that?
are. Yeah.
So that's the people that you watch the
real
Running
quick.
Man for.
Karen Lee Hopkins, who plays like Richard Dawson's assistant,
Arm candy.
Brenda. Yeah. She like doesn't have a huge acting career, but she's like got a pretty big writing career. She wrote Stepmom. She's like, yeah. Sarah was looking into her. She's like, says like she initially like moved to Hollywood to be an actress and ended up wanting to write, and so she
That's
did
interesting.
that instead.
Good for her.
Is that the Julia Roberts stepmom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if she got into writing after having to listen to dialogue like, "Oh, the one with the great ass."
Oh my god.
She's like,
Maybe I should start writing my own movies.
Well, there's the part of the movie where Richard's Schwarzenegger's character gets sneaks through airport security by using good old misogyny.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, the lady just, where does she keep her ID pass in her purse? Who can tell? You should just let us through the machine. Women. Wow.
I just watched High Anxiety for the first time. Has anyone seen
one. Yeah, High Anxiety
versus High Anxiety? So there's that bit at the airport where they try and get through security by being a stressful, annoying couple. And I'm like, this is the High Anxiety bit. Like it's just a funny coincidence that I watched it recently. I was like, this is totally the High Anxiety bit. He's like, darling, you forgot it in your purse.
And
all
also,
right, let him through. This sucks.
And this movie also being a chapter.
That was a great Mel Brooks voice.
That was good.
Yeah.
And this movie also entering itself in a chapter in Arnold's history with Hawaiian shirts. Rather unsuspectingly.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
It looks great. Another movie that I love, Arnold in a Hawaiian shirt in, and it's weird because it's not like
it's not
an
Twins
actual scene in the movie. It's not Twins. It's Jingle All the Way, because the picture that Jake Lloyd draws has Arnold in a Hawaiian shirt.
I want to say I think he's wearing one at the end of Expendables 3, if I remember right, when he's with Jet Li.
Man.
And it is very heavily implied that they are a couple.
Never
damn.
watched any of those movies.
I need to rewatch Expendables 3.
Wow.
None of them are
I don't know if you
great,
still have that loaded.
but some of the extended set pieces make them decent.
Watching Stallone beat the shit out of Mel Gibson's pretty great. But
that fight scene.
I do need to rewatch that. The best fight scene in the franchise is still for me Stallone Van Damme.
Oh
But,
yeah, that's a great one.
Contractions?
It actually delivered. Contextualized
Travitron?
contractions, because
Oh yes. So contractions is something that started years ago when we started covering movies, and I started to tell Alex, I'm like, this person was in Star Trek. I just watched him in this episode. And so what I then started to do was deep dive every movie we had and look at all the cast members who were in Star Trek series or movies. And that is how contractions came to be. And it's crazy because this cast is so huge. And with this one,
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
there it is. Okay. And this movie only has one contraction. And I knew it right when I saw the title card. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to highlight this. And the image that everyone sees up right now, that is Mick Fleetwood as an alien in Star Trek The Next Generation. He played an Antidian dignitary in season 2 of Star Trek The Next Gen. And this is fun because we also get a little behind the scenes photo of him getting the makeup on. And I remember watching this episode and thinking the same thing when his title card popped up at the end. I'm like, what? It's so
well,
these are non-speaking roles. He makes really weird sounds and then eats just these big barrels full of fish at the end. It's bizarre.
That's
on
amazing.
Star Trek.
On Star Trek.
Next Gen.
Is he a Star Trek fan?
Yeah, so in my research, Mick Fleetwood is a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah,
and starting from he was an OG from the 60s, right? So he was an OG Star Trek fan. So the Star Trek line in Running Man was at his behest. The Spock reference was his idea.
And then, I do love that he's the one that makes the reference.
Yeah. And then he goes on, he would go on to fulfill a lifelong dream to get to cameo on Star Trek. So he campaigned to be the non-verbal noise-making fish guy. Which is so great. That's it reminds me of when Kevin Smith was in an episode of Law and Order. His agent, he was going to fire his agent because his agent didn't help him get any jobs because he was riding high and doing all these Kevin Smith things at the time. And his agent was like, I'll get anything. What do you want to do that you haven't done? I'll get anything for you. And then Kevin's like, I want to be on Law and Order, but I don't want to be the dead person. I don't want to be the perpetrator. I want to be the guy that leads them to the guy. I want to be the first or second guy that they talk to, at a store or something, and just gives them some information that leads them to the next clue. He's like, okay, consider it done. And a couple weeks later, there's Kevin Smith on a set in New York, and he played a guy that I think worked at the docks or something, and gives information to the police. It's a really funny clip. So that's that. That's Mick Fleetwood on Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Because he could have been that show is just chock full of guest appearances of the week, and he could have been any one of a dignitary or a special guest that actually did something.
Totally.
He's like, no, I want this.
So our parent thoughts about the movie, our thoughts about the movie are all pretty apparent at this point. Does anybody have any broad things they want to say about the movie before we start nibbling on specific scenes and whatnot?
I think the thing that this movie does unintentionally is it's a really great snapshot of Schwarzenegger hitting this point where he could start capitalizing on his charisma more. Mm-hmm. He could coast on it a little bit, and also he was pushing his comedic chops with this. Yeah. And when you get into Red Heat, he's the straight man in that, but it's still a comedic action film. But obviously Kindergarten Cop was a turning point for him, as was Twins. But I just think a lot of the cheeky humor in this plays so well, especially because everything's so broad. They make no effort to hide the fact that it's shot in the 80s. They don't try to futurize it beyond the goofy props. Everyone's got perms. It's amazing. Spandex is everywhere. It is an 80s movie that's purportedly set in the 2010s.
Like the quilted
I love that
Adidas
about it.
tracksuits.
There was
Adidas had to get in on that. Adidas had no shame. They're like, yeah, we would get into a murder show. That's fine.
Yeah, we'd sponsor this.
But I just think Schwarzenegger especially seems really comfortable in this movie. And I love that about it. Like, it's the first time he seems like relaxed. And I think like you see him like start to bring this into more of his performances going forward. And you know, like we know he has limited range, but also Schwarzenegger's a better actor than a lot of people. Like, if we were going to be honest.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he is.
Yeah.
No, the things he's good at, he's good at. And you can see that this is like on his path to getting better. But I think one of the things that this movie fails a little bit it was in trying too hard at the cheeky stuff. And like, there's some one-liners that I think are great, that I think are just fantastic, wonderful one-liners. Like, what happened to Buzzsaw? He had to split. Great. That's perfect. You know, that's after Buzzsaw was dispatched by a chainsaw up to the balls.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2003 remake, rip that off, just to put it out there.
Excellent point.
One of the best deaths when Buzzsaw gets it, and the like the high pitch.
He starts to sing as his balls get cut up.
Like, I thought that was Dynamo, like showing.
No, yeah, Angela pointed out the same thing. It was so great. But then there's lines where it's like, "Hey, Killian, here is Sub-Zero. Now Plane Zero."
I'm gonna die on this hill. I love that line.
I put the little GIF up. Yeah, because it's not even clever. It means nothing.
It means nothing.
Yeah. Hey, this thing that means less than it was, now he's more than what he was.
Now that he's dead.
Yeah, no, it's like, for what it's worth, though, I mean, like, what kind of riff are you going to come up with off of a name like Sub-Zero in that moment? Like, I think he did the best he could with what he had to work with.
Oh, yeah. He could have used some of his Mr. Freeze puns.
Yeah, I mean, it could have, yeah.
Also, let's be fair, this is pre-Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat shamelessly ripped off Enter the Dragon and a million other things because it's a video game, who cares? But, like, at the same time, like, I think I'm pretty confident that Ed Boon, like, watched this movie and loved it.
Yeah. No, like, the Stalkers even feel like fighting game video, like, characters.
Oh, yeah. If there were a video game of this, I would die for it.
In my notes, because it was a little blurry, I didn't like really in focus remember Buzzsaw and Dynamo from my first viewing of the movie. Now I'll never forget them because I made notes about them.
Why are they a tag team? What do they have in common?
So what I actually wrote in my notes was Buzzsaw is the best villain in a movie ever. This is not up for debate. And then there was another thing happened, and then I wrote, Dynamo is an electrified opera singer. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. He might be better than Buzzsaw. And
yes, that is correct. Dynamo is better than Buzzsaw.
Well, to be fair, all the stalkers in this movie remind me of all the arm wrestlers in Over the Top, even though none of them are the same cast members. You'd think they were, but like I love Over the Top, and all the evil arm wrestlers in Over the Top look like the stalkers from this movie. They really do. Like one guy drinks drinks Valvoline before he arm wrestles people. It's ridiculous.
Like this guy that played Buzzsaw, Gus Rethwish, not a huge filmography, but always playing a big brawny dude. Obviously, he was also in Twins, which is funny. But him in this movie in a physical way. I don't understand how he wasn't bursting a blood vessel in every take he was doing. He was squeezing his face and his eyes were bulging like a maniac.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
very intense.
He really like that scene in this Big Trouble in Little China where the guy gets so mad his head inflates and pops.
Yeah, where he explodes.
This guy looked like a phase of that special effect for his entire performance.
Also worth noting, Yaphet Kotto also does that in Love and Let Die.
I was going to say, it's a subtle homage to Yaphet Kotto. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Buzzsaw had an inflated opinion of himself, I think was the kill line.
Well, and
that day.
let's be honest, guys. Let's think about like the broad influence of this movie. Like Bonesaw McGraw.
Yeah.
is ready.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm honestly surprised that there isn't more wrestler overlap between this movie and like No Holds Barred and Over the Top and like Roadhouse even. Which had like Terry Funk and a couple others, because like still like right in that period, it's like this seems like the time to just be casting wrestlers as your villains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to say
Like how Hulk. Go ahead, Travis. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to point out Gus Redwish, who played Buzzsaw, was also in House 2, The Second Story, playing a character named Arnold the Barbarian.
No, that tracks.
That's so good.
I just rewatched the first House not too long ago, and I was gearing up for House 2. Gonna go all the way to go the whole distance to 4, but I know it peaks at 1 and 2. I know 3 and 4 aren't as celebrated.
I did not realize.
But
there
if
was a
Buzzsaw is in 2, there's 4 of those things, and the third one apparently doesn't even have House in the title. It's just like connected somehow. I don't know.
That's nuts.
You
Is
know,
the second one still Steve Miner?
He's at least a producer on it, I want to say. But let's put it this way: it's way simpler than the Amityville franchise, which is 50 movies and still going, because it's public domain and we're all screwed. Yeah.
Yep.
Gus Redwish is also in a movie called Wizards of the Lost Kingdom 2.
Oh shit! Mystery Science Theater covered that. I saw the first. I may have seen both of those things because of Mystery Science Theater. I'm very
curious to watch this movie. I remember the Mystery Science Theater.
Really bad movies, obviously, but
it reuses footage from 4 other movies in the movie. It reuses footage of David Carradine in combat from Warrior and the Sorceress.
Yeah, and I remember David Carradine in the first Wizards of whatever. But yeah, like, goddamn! If you guys haven't watched Mystery Science Theater, the reboot, The Gauntlet on Netflix, it's great. They do Mac and Me, and it doesn't disappoint.
Nice.
Yeah, Travis, did you had something? Or wait, did you say the thing?
I feel like
I don't remember
did.
what happened.
And then I don't know.
I got sidetracked by Wizards of the Lost Kingdom too.
Mm-hmm. I was doing a deep dive on the director of House 2, and nothing of note.
Who is the director on House 2 then? Because it's not Steve Miner if there's nothing of note.
His name is Ethan Wiley.
Oh,
director. Good for Ethan.
Yeah, director of Elfman. Ethan Wiley.
Elfman.
Hey,
that Ethan Wiley.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna direct House 2, so good for him.
Yeah, he did.
Fair point.
He made a movie that I can go into a store and buy.
Yeah.
He was a writer on the first House, so yeah.
Oh, so they gave him a shot.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes with those horror franchises.
Oh, right. Fred Decker directed the first House, right? Is that right?
No, Steve Miner.
Oh, Steve Miner. Oh, right. Fred Decker.
I think Fred
Decker.
Did he write one
was
and 2?
everywhere though.
One
right.
Yeah, he was involved in it.
Yep.
Yeah, Decker had a run. Wrote that.
What movie?
The stupid Shane Black Predator. That, like, when you tell me that Fred Decker wrote a Predator movie directed by Shane Black, I think, oh my God, that sounds awesome. But I've seen it and I can't remember a single thing about it. And I wasn't that stoned.
Dude, I avoided The Predator for a long time. And then when Prey came out, I sucked it up right before Prey came out last July. And I finally watched The Predator. And it is shit. It is. There's no getting. There's like if it was between that and AVP Requiem, I might watch The Predator instead. Because AVP Requiem is so unwatchable. Literally,
yeah.
Like there's nothing to see in AVP Requiem. It's so dark.
That is true.
Whereas The Predator, at least like there's a lot of cool actors in it, even though the script is god awful.
God. I might take Requiem just because there's at least a bunch of kills.
Oh man,
But you can't see them, man. You can just hear the squelching of blood and guts.
Sometimes wet squelching is all I need.
Okay, guys.
Fair enough.
People who remember AVP Requiem better than I do, please help me remember if I'm remembering this correctly.
Colorado.
But there's a scene.
A lot of it takes place in the sewers.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a scene where, like, it's some partway through the movie, we cut to people we've never seen before. It's like a father putting his daughter to bed, and it goes on for a really long time.
You've seen them; they're just not memorable characters.
Okay, but it goes on for a really long time and tries to get you emotionally invested in them. It's like it's a few minutes.
Just doing a one-off Walking Dead episode for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they spend way too much time setting up the dude who plays Sam in True Blood as a character that you think is going to survive.
So they like,
and then he gets killed the second the Predator shows up.
And then that just shows up and they die, and then there's like that contributed nothing to the movie. I cared. It made me so frustrated that the movie just included diversions like that weren't even fun. Like, if you're going to show me a diversion, like, you can show me vignettes of the Predator wreaking havoc and being a general dick on Earth, but, like, at least make it fun.
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
Please.
Like, but AVP Requiem, I'm not mad that it's bad. Like, that's fine. But the Predator being as bad as it is.
Yeah, no, the ingredients should add up to a better end result.
That is a massive disappointment.
Yeah, that was a big.
The Predator felt like it was at war with itself every single second of the movie, and it's really puzzlingly bad.
Puzzlingly bad,
yeah. You don't know why it would be that bad. Can I just say, shout out to Arnold around this era. Granted, it was a little bit after The Running Man, but I'm currently going through a Tales of the Crypt rewatch because I bought the box set.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Got it at a great price, and I'm just having a ball with it. And Schwarzenegger, pretty much the only thing he ever directed of note was an episode of Tales from the Crypt, and was and it was an episode with William Hickey, the toupee grandpa from Christmas Vacation, with the burning tree guy. He plays a guy who's trying to like make himself look younger, and it's a really goofy episode. But it opens up with Schwarzenegger talking to the Crypt Keeper and being like, "Pump yourself up, Crypt Keeper," and it's so great. So you can literally watch it on YouTube if you wanted. You don't have to buy
Is that?
the DVD.
I mean, it's got to be on HBO. Is that show not on streaming?
It's
on
not.
No. HBO's like rights are. You can either buy the DVDs, buy the DVDs so you can watch everything, but you can watch a handful of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I bought the box set at the beginning of the pandemic, and I haven't started yet. But knowing that Schwarzenegger did an episode makes me want to do that this week now. But I think I got it on eBay for like $36 after shipping for like all 7 seasons.
I got it for around $30 with shipping, and it's $50 brand new on Amazon. So
am I just now learning that there's like insane rights issues with Tales from the Crypt? Because it is like, it should be criminally punishable that this show is not available.
It's because of the comic book rights. The comic book rights and the HBO rights conflict with each other.
Yeah.
It's similar to like when The Hobbit and MGM was all screwed up. Back in like 10 years ago. So,
God damn.
But just buy the DVDs and then you can watch them. That's beautiful.
I know, but like the fact that these haven't been restored from the camera negatives and like restored in HD is like just disgusting, because some of the best genre cinematography for years was taking place on Tales from the Crypt.
And it's A-list talent in front and behind the camera. It's awesome. I watched a random episode with Demi Moore.
Is there's got to be a Tales
I was like,
from the
what
Crypt
is she doing in this show?
I
assume there's
stars.
Someone's already like done the Tales from the Crypt episode by episode. All I'm finding is like a Bitcoin podcast. That's disgusting.
Yeah, gross. I want to say I think John Larroquette was in like a number of episodes too, because they used him for one or two of the wraparound segments in the movies as well.
I watched an episode.
William Sadler.
Oh God, Bill Sadler.
William Sadler does the debut episode as an executioner who goes private, and he's amazing,
unreal.
And then I watched another episode where M. Emmett Walsh retires, and it's a nightmare because his wife has a million pets, and he goes insane. Amazing. So much good stuff.
The pilot episode with Larry Drake as the killer Santa as well is so good. Still holds
Yeah,
up.
because that's in the original movie from the 70s.
Yes, yeah.
But like they remade it with Larry Drake.
Yeah.
Larry Drake is so good in that episode, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tales from the Crypt podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, this is also the
Takeover.
show. Like, we diverge friggin' constantly.
I need to send you guys some box sets. I'll work on it.
We dance around the topic. But I am.
Last week we wanted to talk about Star Trek more than Mindhunters. So.
Oh God,
not-
Mindhunters.
To be fair, Mindhunters didn't give us a lot to talk about.
No, it really didn't.
Yeah.
It would have been so much more of a fun movie if when LL Cool J fell flat on his face, he was dead.
Yep.
The whole rest of the movie would have been
Cool
more
J
interesting.
peaked with H2O.
Yep.
H2O's LL Cool J. Yeah.
Yeah. No love for Deep Blue Sea.
Oh no, obviously. I mean,
okay.
Rennie Harlan loved him enough.
Yeah.
For all of us.
The other day, I heard a random LL Cool J song come on the radio. It was like a retro R&B hour, and it was this like song from him, like from like the late 80s, early 90s. I wish I could remember it, but it was the most literal hip hop song I've heard in a long time. He's like, "Girl, I love you. I want to have sex with you. I like you a lot." It was amazing how like incredibly literal it was.
Oh man, that sounds great.
His sensual jams are boneheaded, to say the least.
I respect the direct approach, though.
Boner-headed.
Yeah, he does. He does tough guy bravado much better than sensual slow jam stuff. Hey, what's this song about? Doing it and doing it well. Okay, what are the words? Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
But to bring it back, who would LL Cool J have played in The Running Man? Which stalker would he have been?
I don't know if he would have been a stalker. I think he might have been Yaphet Kotto's role.
I'd make him Dynamo.
I would have made him Sub-Zero. Because
You made him who?
J. Make Cool J Sub-Zero.
Oh,
So
that'd have been
like
good.
ice.
Yeah.
That's better. That's more on the nose, which means
Has
it's correct.
LL Cool J ever played a villain?
We'd have to dig in.
Yeah.
We'd have to.
I'm genuinely racking my brain. I feel like I've seen not a small amount of LL Cool J films, and I cannot think of anywhere he was a villain.
Oh wait, I have an idea.
Where was that LL Cool J slice in the Schmoedown?
He played a villain in the film In Too Deep. MTV News reports on September 23rd, 1998. LL Cool J to play villain in Too Deep.
Okay,
That's fair. It's villainous for him.
was that MTV's version of Deep Cover?
No, this is just it popped up on Google, and I guess they have the entirety of MTV News briefs dated correctly online because it just came up as a news article from 1998.
Huh.
What would you guys do if like they finally did like the throwback like Knights of the Old Republic series and like LL Cool J played Darth Bane or something?
Why not? Do it.
At this point, who cares?
Yeah.
Is LL Cool J
as
gonna
big and fun of a twist as it was in the game? So
is he going to show up with a lightsaber and say, "You ate my bird"? Because if the answer to that is yes, I'm on board as hell.
Okay, so I'm gonna have my first experience.
LL Cool J on this network.
Right.
I'm about to have my first experience with the AI chatbot Chat GPT to ask it if LL Cool J has ever played a villain.
ooh.
Has he really though? If it's all from his point of view.
Okay. It's really going. LL Cool J has played a villain in a few movies and television shows. One notable example is his role as Samir Wasan in the second season of the TV series NCIS Los Angeles. In this role, he played a former intelligence agent turned arms dealer who becomes the main antagonist of the NCIS team. I think at the end of the season, though, he becomes part of the NCIS team, so I think he flips. He also
wait. Is he on NCIS and CSI, or am I mixing that up? Because if he is on both,
he's on NCIS. He's on NCIS. I don't think he's on
he was
CSI.
A good guy on NCIS.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was introduced.
Does he have an evil doppelganger?
Wait, I'm going to ask a chatbot if his character on NCIS is now a good guy.
I wish the
AI chatbot would Yaphet Kotto and LL Cool J be friends in 1987? Please answer.
He says he's playing a different character though. This time it's saying his character in NCIS Los Angeles is Sam Hanna and not Samir Wassan, but maybe he changes his name when he joins the team. It says throughout the show he is depicted as a dedicated and highly skilled agent who is respected by his colleagues. So there's that. It says he was also a villain in SWAT.
I want to go on record.
In SWAT? At first I thought you said Spot. I was like, what's Spot?
I thought he said Spock for a second. Also not a villain in SWAT. I want to go on record as saying what I have always maintained. Artificial intelligence was a fucking mistake.
I'm asking it if it thinks the ladies really do love Cool James.
Ladies love.
Oh my god! This is terrible. I hate reality.
Here's the important.
Here's
the important question: if LL Cool J was in The Running Man, would he have written a dope ass hip hop song for the credits?
The answer is most certainly yes. This AI just wrote a glowing review of LL Cool J as a human being. That was its most recent response. He is known for his smooth, confident style. It's ChatGPT says.
To bring it back to Running Man, ask it if ladies work out in lingerie the way Maria Conchita Alonso did. Because that was one of the most ridiculous things.
I'm going to specify like Maria Conchita Alonso in The Running Man. But I have to copy and paste her name. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Those end credits did not mess around.
No, they didn't.
Oh, there's a lot of good
I'm going to put a shot from the movie up right now.
They start doing the radio ads or whatever for all the products, which is really fun.
That was a good bit.
There's a shot in the movie that I think is just so extreme and amazing and beautiful, and it's like the last shot in the movie. I just sent it to you guys in the chat, and it's what the web stream is showing right now. While I ask the web AI the question, do ladies work out in lingerie like Maria Conchita Alonso in the 1987 film The Running Man?
Oh man,
this is what it gave you.
It is not common or recommended for women to work out in lingerie as it provides insufficient support and coverage for physical activity. It then goes on to really thoroughly inform me about what you should and shouldn't wear as a lady when you're working out.
I never thought I'd say this, but I agree with the robot.
But look at this beautiful image of these two people about to kiss, and just it's the pinkest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's so pink and red. It's so
that's
great.
Some euphoria, bisexual ass lighting on those two.
Oh man, I love it. I love it so much.
Also, I love like the blasé like shaming at play like in this movie. Because when they throw Amber in the middle of it, they're like, she had no less than 2 to 3 sexual partners a year. And I'm like,
that's so
fuck
insane.
you.
Yeah.
The morality police. Well, that was an interesting thing.
And she's even looking around like, screw you.
That was one I really liked that dystopian peppered flavor throughout the movie, like the banned media and the censored music and Ben was still kind of being a cop in Amber's apartment, which is like his brother's old apartment.
It made me think of Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Like Demolition Man is definitely an extension of this movie.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like he goes and
the way they keep up that bit with the fine in the background every time someone curses and a fax comes out of the wall. It's amazing.
Oh man, Demolition Man is such a perfect
violation of the morality statute. The verbal morality statute. That's what it is. Yeah.
Another thing this movie does that predicted the future is the deep fakes.
Oh yeah, this movie totally predicts deep fakes.
And they did it so effortlessly too.
Oh yeah, so much. I mean, it's that easy now in 2023, but
it's so true though, just with like the editing and everything. And I love that, like, it's so good what they do with Jesse Ventura, in my opinion.
He's
because
great in this.
We want to see him and Schwarzenegger duke it out, and then we get it, but it's so hollow.
Yeah.
We know it's physically real because it was filmed, but in the context of the movie, it's fake. That's a great balance.
Yeah.
No,
because you think
agree.
it's all going to be about him fighting Captain Freedom.
I know,
as the
it's such
big
a
boss
fake
fight,
out.
and it's a joke.
And it's also really funny
joke.
is it provides those two dudes a way, like Jesse Ventura doesn't have to be killed by Schwarzenegger, and Schwarzenegger doesn't actually have to be killed by Jesse Ventura. So like neither of them
go their separate ways. Yeah.
Neither of them can and Jesse Ventura is like, yeah, I'll do this, but you can't kill me. I'm just gonna like leave at the end of my part. I'm gonna be fine.
They had to,
And I love when he shows up in like the tin. He's in the tinfoil oven. He's like, I'm not going to do this bullshit.
That thing was unbelievable. That design, it was just like a bunch of knives taped to pieces of metal that were strapped to his
chest. It was like a third grader getting his mom to make a robot.
That's exactly what it looked like. It's exactly what it looked like.
But at the same time, you're like, yeah, this fits the
oh,
vibe
totally.
that all the
It was not implausible
stalkers have.
There's a great moment. I love also in the movie when the Great Unwashed. I also want to point out that like the Great Unwashed, like the ghetto dwelling people that are betting on the Running Man competition, have a giant TV installed in their like homeless encampment, basically. It's great because that's the world.
They took over a Buffalo Wild Wings during the apocalypse. And it was like, we're gonna watch our shit.
But
really quick, guys, I unfortunately have to depart.
We should actually probably just wrap it up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap.
So
if you gotta go, cool. Dustin, I can. You want to?
We could
stick
go
around for
all
a minute?
night in a different universe. I'm
all
sure.
Right, for sure. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining us for the Running Man.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Dustin, real quick before you leave, do you want to, let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Dustin Meadows on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out my film work on YouTube at Dustin Meadows Comedy. And that's about it for now.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
And then I think next week we are going to be covering The Hunt. Is that what we agreed on?
That is Dustin's pick, The Hunt.
Correct.
Sweet.
Streamable somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere.
And Alex, how about you?
Check out Shrinking on Apple TV Plus that I had the pleasure of working on last year. It's coming out week to week. It's really fun. Other than that, if you need me to keep your movie in focus, go to abrunel.com. Shoot me an email.
Do that. And Adam, thank you for joining us. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, and where can people find you?
Well, first and foremost, Dustin, great to meet you. I'll be keeping tabs, and then Alex, that's awesome about the show. That was already on my radar, and I'll prioritize it now.
Cool, man.
Even more so. I was looking forward to it anyway, so that's even cooler. For me, my better half, Marisol McKee, and I are doing our little thing over on Champs on Film on YouTube, at Champs on Film on YouTube and Twitter. We're taking it very easy. We're going to roll out some new videos soon, some of which we're going to start our new series, which is basically picking up on the trend of creating custom wrestlers on WWE games, except we're doing it with Schmodown personalities, and they're going to beat the living crap out of each other.
Nice.
I'm on there. Traps is on there. Several others incoming. So stay tuned. But at Champs on Film on YouTube and Twitter is the main thing, and then for me personally, it's at Eisenthor on Twitter and Letterboxd, AIZANTHOR. Thanks for having me.
Very cool.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and you can find me at Travis Fishburne. You can find the show at Who Watches Pod on Twitter. Email the show at Who Watches Podcast.
Email the shoe.
Yeah, email the shoe. That's the issue. That's where all the emails have been going.
That's how I buy all my shoes, man.
Yeah, full of emails. yeah, do all the things, leave the reviews, and so until next time, stay alive and survive.
And back